When I think of Star Wars, I think of two things. Just how many parsecs long is Jabba the Hutt's throbbing sarlacc? And could Carrie Fisher have handled the thrusting?
Be Tanawana Boo Boo?
I made a pee-pee joke.
Ho ho ho.
Actually, Star Wars reminds me of the very first time I ever played a video game on the internet. Yes, that serene place with endless information at your fingertips, a vast array of Anna Kournikova upskirt shots, and a downstream of porn. This is Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight.
Here you go, Dad.
Thanks. This is why I like practical effects, George! I don't need your CGI! Star Wars, one of the most influential movie franchises of all time. You remember it, don't you? In a galaxy far, far away, where George Lucas and his frogneck didn't make changes every time he felt the need to re-release his movies. A place where Gungans and Metachlorians had no meaning. Seriously, dude? Would you swallow an accordion? It looks like you're growing another face. I'm surprised you get death threats when your neck looks like it can bench press the sun. What do you keep in there? Is this what happens when you try to eat the hopes and dreams of kids everywhere? George Lucas ate my rainbows! Now, there's been several Star Wars games that have been released during my childhood and teenage years, but I kept waiting for a Jedi-based Star Wars game that would be set in a three-dimensional world. In 1997, that wish was finally fulfilled with Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight, although I wouldn't become aware of it until the following year when I got my very first computer. Man, I remember it like it was yesterday. I hooked up my brand new HP Pavilion, packed with Windows 98, and fired up my newly created AOL Internet service. 56K is so fast! Once the game was loaded, I clicked multiplayer and then selected a LAN game. Hello? Anybody here? That's how I swing my lightsaber? Looks like I'm throwing a drunken tantrum. Where is everyone? Am I alone? It's like I'm in high school. Yep, this was my very first time experiencing an online game. I ran around for about 15 minutes and then idled for another 30 hoping someone would show up. Back then I was new to computers, so I didn't know what LAN meant. In '98, most people launched the multiplayer game from a gaming website known as MSN Gaming Zone, which would hold 4 people at a virtual table. Nowadays, I can't seem to find anyone that still plays this game. That's okay, right? We still have the single-player game, which stars a character named Kyle Katarn, which is a continuation of the story from the original Dark Forces, where Kyle becomes a mercenary and takes jobs for the Alliance after finding out the Imperial Force was behind his father's death. Oh, there's Katarn, and that's his nipple! You can tell he has the Force because of his beard. He's got so many metachlorians they're coming out of his face! I actually shouldn't poke fun. They introduced Katarn in a pretty awesomely orgasmic way by keeping him in the shadows.
It must be important. Tell me what it is, and these gentlemen won't have to indulge their darker side.
The dark side? I've been there. Do your worst.
Well, I suppose that concludes our business.
I'm not interested in leaving. I have some business to conclude with your friend, 88.
Honey, are you okay?
I need a towel. As I said before, Kyle Katarn's story is continued from the first game, where he's trying to find out who killed his father and is trying to get back the disc AT-88 has, which holds a message from his father which will eventually lead to Kyle becoming a Jedi. In the opening scene, we discover a dark Sith Lord named Jarek has captured a Jedi named Ron in an effort to find the Valley of the Jedi, which is the focal point of the Force. Considering Ron is outnumbered, he puts up a decent fight, cutting Darth Maul in half, but ultimately falls to Jarek. Herein lies the problem for me. This is Jarek. It looks like his mustache was just drawn on. Not exactly imposing. I mean, look at the past Dark Jedi. We have Darth Sidious. He had a menacing voice and a scary Skeletor face. Darth Vader, scary mask and a frightening voice. Darth Maul, freaky eyes, horns, and nasty teeth. Kylo Ren, deep monotone voice and a scary mask. And then there's Jarek. Well, he has a Sharpie marker. I actually just realized Jarek looks like Ken Shi from Mortal Kombat.
Very intriguing.
Hey, Dad, can I play?
You can't handle the likes of Jarek and his almost not really terrifying demeanor.
I'm not afraid.
Good. You will be. You will be.
Absolutely not.
Only the Sith deal in absolutes, boy. Well, I guess there better be a payoff at the end of this episode, otherwise that whole dialogue exchange was really rather pointless. The game has you start in a bar where Kyle first meets AT-88, which in my personal opinion is the best place to start because I get to hear that classic cantina music. Oh yeah, droids! That's my jam! The first thing you'll notice about Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight is that it does an amazing job of creating atmosphere. The level design is exactly what you'd expect from the Star Wars lore and mirrors what you've seen in the movies. Throw in top-notch licensed music and suddenly you feel like you're actually a part of that world. Even by today's standards, the level design still holds up. What I'd say doesn't hold up, but what once was outstanding back in '98, is the graphics on a lot of the characters. NPCs in particular are pretty blocky and some of the faces are just jarring to look at. Yun in particular looks like he's got a mask on, and this lady I find frightening.
I know nothing.
The gameplay itself is excellent and very Doom-like. As for the weapons, you do get an assortment like the Briar Pistol, Stormtrooper Rifle, Thermal Detonators, Bowcaster, Imperial Repeater, Rail Detonator, etc., etc., but I found the Stormtrooper Rifle to be the best. You get a rapid fire with it, and it's fairly plentiful throughout the game, so ammo with it never becomes a major issue like it does with the other weapons. That being said, even having it, you're still drooling as to when you finally get a lightsaber, which doesn't happen until you've retrieved the disc along with a lightsaber from your droid Ouija, and speak with the ghost of Ron, who informs you that Jarek is the direct reason for your father's death.
The eradication of life from us.
Oh, hey, Sensei? Could you maybe stop pollinating? You're getting your angiosperm all over my face. Once you have the lightsaber, it's flat out awesome running through your enemies, and you can even block and cause laser blasts to ricochet back. Your first encounter in an actual duel is with Yun. What's with his hand? What, was he trained by Richard Simmons? Oh, he's sweating to the 80s? And look at his face! He looks like he's surprised he could do it. Hey, Kyle Katarn, you like my jazz hands? Nope. Aww. Your first lightsaber duel showcases just how amazing it can be when it's done right. Yun abuses a lot of force blind on you, but you too have force powers as you progress in the game. But admittedly, a lot of the Dark Force abilities are very tempting to put your force points toward as you make your way. Doing so can change the outcome of the game, so Dark Forces 2 really does an outstanding job of putting you in the seat of a Jedi and the temptations they go through. After your first duel, the levels start to feel taxing to me because I can't wait until the next time I wield blades against another. It happens soon enough. In fact, the next duel is a handicap match against the cast of twins. See? That's Arnold, and that's Danny DeVito. Oh, he hasn't aged well. And look at that guy Schwartz. It's bigger than mine. Lone Star. When it comes to the Sith, Saris and Bach are pretty much standard fare, but Darth Maul is ridiculously hilarious to fight. You remember the guy that Ron cut in half at the beginning? Yeah, he's this guy.
Dude's got no legs. It's a paraplegic amputated Jedi. What? That shit happens? Pff. You think the Sith aren't equal opportunity employers? Dude's floating on a wheelchair!
Weaponless. Kill me!
I'm not gonna let you live just so you get a better parking for your TIE fighter.
Did you just make the beaker face? Woo! Eventually you'll get up to Jarek, who can be pretty annoying because he'll constantly go up to the top of the tower to regenerate. What are you doing there, guy? You dropping ass up there? After you've killed Jarek, all is right in the universe again, and balance to the Force has been restored. Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight is one of those games that will always have a special place in my heart, and the lightsaber battles actually got even better as time went on with the successful sequels of Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. The amount of hours I put into these games is immeasurable, and the moments in the past playing online were all memorable. Kyle Katarn was such an awesome character that when I heard about the new movies coming out, I had hoped Kyle Katarn would be in there somewhere. That's a huge testament that a character from the 90s is still engraved in my mind that even nowadays I still hope to see him again. While we most likely won't see him on the big screen, he'll still live on in these games.
Quarter bit?